Hello, good afternoon, everyone. We are going live today with Joy, who is the founder of Potential You. She is a personal stylist who helps women feel far more comfortable in their skins, helping to build their confidence, both in business and in life. So I'm going to look for Joy. There she is. Hi, Joy. Let me see if I can add you. There we go. Hi, Joy. Can you see me? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Glad to be connected and to have this opportunity to talk with you today. Thank you so much for making the
Hello.
time.
Likewise, my pleasure.
So, for those who are just joining us, we are speaking to Joy today, who's the founder of Potential You, a personal brand stylist who helps women to build their confidence through feeling good inside and out. And I know that wardrobe detoxes and kind of clothing styling is a big part of what you do. But
Yeah.
I'd like to hand over to you to do an introduction and tell us a little bit more about the essence of Potential You. Over to you.
Okay. So, Potential User Style and Image Consultancy birthed 14 years ago, and that was in 2008. I worked. Should I start with my career where I started first?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So I went from finance to fashion. I'm from a Nigerian family. We're quite academic. So you were like lawyers, doctors, or accountants. I was the accountant. I was really good at maths. I remember my dad throwing me up about 5 years old and him said, okay, you'll be an accountant. So I just went down that route, really good at it. But then when I got to about 30, I just thought to myself, I didn't enjoy it. You know, I was head of finance. I traveled. I trained people in the States. I worked with one of the big five, did really well, earned lots of money, but my work-life balance was really poor. I remember I went to a friend's wedding in Tobago, beautiful Caribbean island, with my laptop on the beach. That was what life was like. So I'd have to come home for deadlines because you had 4 working deadlines. I traveled with my family, but I'd have to leave where I was and get back on the plane for like the next day after New Year's Day. And I just progressively found that I wasn't really enjoying my life.
Yeah.
So in 2003, I had like a brainstorming session with my friends, talked about my passion, what I wanted to do, but finance was all I ever did. So I started working for Apple when I was at university. Um, I worked part-time with Apple and then slowly went up the ranks. And that was all I'd ever done. So I was really scared to leave. But one day I just came home. I bought a new flat. I bought my first property when I was 22. So I was doing really well. But I wasn't
Wow.
really enjoying it. I wasn't enjoying life. And one day I got home at midnight because I'd have to work Indian hours, UK hours, and American hours. The Indian hours are earlier, so I'd have to get to work at crack of dawn.
Yeah.
And then American hours are later, so I'd leave work like midnight. So I was work crazy, crazy hours. And I remember one day coming home, I call it my epiphany, and I felt just really, really sad. I just thought, this is not the life I want for myself. And I felt God say to me, I told you what to do in 2003, but obviously I was scared. So the
Mhm.
next day I wrote my letter of resignation in fair interpretation, and I handed it in to them at work. They didn't want me to leave.
Yeah.
So I stayed there for quite a few months. They gave me some good money and I took the money. And then a few months later, I thought, Drew, you have to leave and follow your dreams, which I did. And then Potential You was birthed. I went to the London College of Fashion as well. So I'm a trained personal stylist,
Okay.
trained as a personal stylist and as a fashion buyer, because with my job, it's working with people, but also understanding clothes, fabrication, color, texture, body shape, all works of it. So yeah, I love what I do, absolutely. So Potentially was about really helping women to feel confident in their skin through personal styling. As our bodies are the only houses that we live in,
Hmm.
and I always say that we're not taught how to clothe it. You know, you learn how to kind of decorate your home, do flowers, furniture, but actually the body that you live in, we're also unique and different. And I'm trained to help women to dress their bodies in a way that exudes confidence. Yeah.
Wow, what a wonderful journey and story. And listening to that, I mean, I had that fear feeling in my
Yeah,
tummy
I was
listening to
scared.
you talking
Yeah,
about making that change. And I think there's so many people now, particularly
yeah,
during the pandemic and post-pandemic, who have had a massive reassessment of their
yeah.
their
Of life.
lives, their work-life
Yeah,
balance. this resistance to kind of going back to that,
What
old
it was like
normal,
before.
but where
Yeah.
they realized that they were miserable.
Yeah.
So I think your story will resonate with so many people, and I can see there are people kind of going yes in the comments.
I can see the friends. Hi.
And I mean, what advice would you give to somebody who's in a similar situation to what you were when you took that leap to leave a very successful corporate career and start out essentially from the beginning?
I think that everybody's born with a gift and a talent and a purpose. So I always loved styling. I loved how my mum dressed. My dad would go to New York to buy us dresses as small children. And I remember thinking as an adult, I'm going to walk around in fluffy heel slippers when I'm an adult. Obviously, that doesn't happen in real life.
You mean that didn't go down well at your Big 5 job?
It didn't go down well at all. Didn't go down well at all. And I think that everybody has a gift. So I always loved styling. So I'd help my friends with weddings, at work. But I saw the confidence it gave women. And I wanted to do that on a bigger scale. So I believe that everybody has a talent and a gift. You're born with a gift. And I think it's important to discover that. It's incumbent on you to live your life in a way that's purposeful and in a way that brings you joy. And the way I see it was that you spend so much of your time at work. It's so important to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, that's a big chunk of your life. But I would also say that be realistic because you have bills to pay. And one thing that somebody told me was have 1 foot in reality and 1 foot in your dreams. So when I say that is I took 2 feet of reality into my dreams. I sold my house, by the way, to start my business as well. I just couldn't do it anymore. I took a complete leap. But I think the sensible way to do it will be to have your foot in both. So maybe while you're working your job, study, work on it, build your business up on the side, harness your skills, then you can easily transfer that. But yeah.
I think that's really, really good advice because it is difficult for many people with the level of responsibility we have to make that kind of leap without having something to fall back on. But it's not always easy to build up, a nest egg of savings to rely on. So
it's not realistic. Yeah, it's not realistic for everybody. I was young, free and single then. I had no responsibilities, so I could do it. And I know that not everybody can do it. So have a plan, put a business plan together and start working on building your dreams. Even if you start small, little drops make an ocean, but don't live in unfulfillment just because of money. Start making little plans and it really makes a difference. I remember when I started my first client. So I left my job. I remember packing up my box. I was in my own office on the 13th floor in the city with one of the Big 5. And I remember that was the 8th of February, 2008. And my first client was on the 11th of February. It was a single mum. She'd lacked confidence. She just lost her way. And when I finished styling her, the way that she felt, it was amazing. And I just thought, oh my God, and I'm going to get paid for helping people to feel good. And it felt so wonderful. And that was the first day of 14 years, and I'm still here, thank God.
That's amazing. So tell us about the evolution of your business over the last 14 years. I mean, what have you learned? But has the business changed in any way? And have you had that temptation to grow and scale that so many of us feel when we run a business?
Yeah. My business is quite personal, so I've had people help me. I have freelancers that assist me. But in regards to styling, as all my clients say, it's you that they want. It's a very personalized service. So like yesterday, I was in a client's home, inside her wardrobe, detoxing her wardrobe, swapping the seasons, noting all the gaps, putting some things for recycle, for resale, really in her personal space. And I think something like that, you can't really franchise or duplicate in that sense. But I think that it's also important to be able to get help as well when you can. So a big change in my business was that, so normally we have my services are color analysis, body shape, wardrobe detoxing, wardrobe management, personal shopping. And then I deliver lots of masterclasses and workshops around style for women. But pre-COVID, I had nothing virtually whatsoever. Nothing at all. My husband has always been saying, go online, do something virtual. And I was like, yada, yada, yada. As soon as COVID came, Michelle, it was a complete change. And you know what? It was really good to pivot. It was really, really good to pivot. And I'm still reaping the benefits of it now. So during COVID, I had master classes on winter wardrobe, on summer wardrobe, on styling your body shape, on wearing color that lifts you because people were down. And it was fantastic because from that, it opened up a whole new market virtually to me. And then with that, I have now virtual clients that I work in person and virtually. So I think it's important to be flexible in business. Try to do it before the crisis comes. But yeah, I've pivoted my business online as well. And that's been great because normally I work with clients internationally in person, but now I can also work with them virtually as well, which has been really, really a blessing.
Yeah. No, I mean, what you were saying there just totally resonates with me. I mean, we had to do exactly the same thing for the women's chapter. And it was good because, I mean, in hindsight, obviously, is always perfect sight. But it was the push that we needed to make the changes to our business model that we should have made pre-pandemic. And I think the big lesson for me coming out of that, and I don't know if you agree, is to expect the unexpected and try to future-proof your business. You know, no one expected this to happen, and it has. So we now need to be far more agile and aware of what changes we'll need to make, should we need to make them, and possibly even put them in place before that even becomes necessary.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. I think it's good to preempt it, but I also think it's good that we've actually even changed. So I was working with a seamstress because I was working on this collection, and she completely stopped working during COVID. She didn't think, oh, she could do it online. So even though we didn't preempt it, we didn't do it before, but at least we've moved with the time. Do you see what I mean? And I think that's such a good thing. Don't be stuck. Be flexible when it comes to business as well. And listen to your customers. Be current. Know what's happening. So yeah, I'm thankful. COVID we've had a lot of loss, but there's also been a lot of change, which is which has been beneficial in some regard as well.
Yeah. And what about your work-life balance now? Because, you know, you were saying with your professional career, there was none of that, and you were literally a slave to the machine. But now, how do you manage your energy and your own time to make sure that those boundaries don't get blurred again?
I'm not going to say that I've completely conquered it, because that would be an absolute lie. But I think that I'm getting better at it. So for an instance, yesterday I was out with clients. Today I'm doing online. As soon as I finish, I've got a virtual consultation. Tomorrow I'm out with clients. So I try to mix the days up so that I'm not constantly, because as a stylist, you spend a long time on your feet, about 15 to like 20 hours on your feet styling clients. So doing that day after day wears on you. So what I try to do is to mix that up with online, because with online, I can do the virtual colors, I could do the virtual wardrobe consultations, and I'm sat on a chair. So I try to mix it in that regard. But I think it's something I still need to work on. I think when you work for yourself, the responsibility is on you. It's not easy at all. So holidays are good. So I went away for business to Dubai last week, and then I had some time before. I sandwiched the conference in between. I had a few days before on the beach and a few days afterwards. So trying to balance work, rest and play. But it's not easy when you're in business, because your brain's always ticking, it's always working. So you have to make a conscious effort to not work and to take a break. But yeah, I'm getting better.
Oh, that's wonderful. And in terms of the kinds of clients you work with, what are the most common issues or problems you come across with the women that come to you for help?
Okay, most of my clients are professional women, so working women, business owners who are time poor, who kind of just wear clothes. They don't particularly feel great, but they just wear it because it's there. They're not really sure what suits them, what works for them. They have like bulging wardrobes and they just wear 20% of it. And even that 20% is very blah. They're not excited. Their wardrobe doesn't really bring them joy. No pun intended. And as a stylist, my job is to understand, first of all, who the woman is. Out of the whole styling process, the clothes are not important. The woman's the most important part. So for me, I always want to understand who she is. What's your personality? What's your lifestyle? Who are you? What are you doing with your life? And then I work on your colors. What are the best colors? Because wearing the right colors can really bring you joy, can lift you, can really work. And then understanding your body shape, wearing things that flatter you. As time changes from your teenage years to young adulthood, to children, menopausal, premenopausal, postmenopausal, our bodies change, and how you dress changes as well, because your body changes. So I help women to kind of adapt to that and to create a style that works for them and suits their lifestyle. So whether it's for work, whether it's weekends, whether it's holidays, whether it's special occasions, I make sure that their wardrobes are ready, and it brings them joy and makes them feel confident.
And how do you deal with people who don't want to let go of a previous style they once had? You know, kind of maybe women who are in their mid to late 40s now, who are insistent that they still want to keep things that they wore when they were 30, despite the changes that their bodies have experienced.
Yeah. Well,
just asking for a friend.
Oh, for your friend. I think what I find with women is self-acceptance is really, really important. And it's something I've had to go through as well. So normally I can usually lose weight and put weight on within 2 weeks. Our body is a lot more elastic when we're younger. But as we grow older as women, our bodies change. We gather more weight around our tummy. Everything changes. So what I try to do with the woman is to bring her through the journey. So once she's had her colours done, she understands her shape. Then I'll say, okay, this is your shape. This is what flatters you more. So what you wore at university, what you wore when you were in your early 30s or in your 20s isn't really doing you good. And don't hold on to things that are 2 sizes too small, because it doesn't do anything for your confidence. So we'll do a detox, but then I'll replenish it with things that work. And once you start seeing things that suit you better, you'll embrace that more, as opposed to wearing tight, ill-fitting clothes or trying to lose weight to fit into your clothes. You should fit into your clothes, not the other way around. Do you see what I mean? So get clothes that fit you. Don't try to go backwards. And it does nothing for your self-confidence or self-esteem. So yeah, but understanding the woman, helping her to understand what works for her, colors and shape, and then picking a wardrobe that really suits her, that she'll exude confidence. And once she sees that, she'll let go of things. But people can be quite emotionally attached to their clothes. So I have different types. Some people are easy to let go and some people are hoarders. So what we try to do is some people will let go of it, and then sometimes they'll need new clothes before they let go. Yeah. Does that make? And then some people will give me the clothes because they know that once I leave, they might put it back in the wardrobe. So it depends. I think for me, understanding who the woman is very, very important. So if you're holding on to your leather jacket when you were 18 and you're now 48 and you can't fit into that leather jacket, it's not going to do you any good. Let's sell it. Let's give it away. Let's recycle. Let's resell it. And then let's get you one that fits you. Even if you want a really nice leather jacket, you can wear a leather jacket, but we'll get you one that works better for you.
Yeah. And do you ever come across imposter syndrome with your clients, where they discover a new style through working with you, but they struggle to kind of come to terms with, well, I don't know, feel like they need permission to embrace this new style because they might be so stuck in their old ways? I think, you know, it's related so much to our confidence and how we see ourselves.
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure about imposter syndrome, but I call it there's body dysmorphia. A lot of women have body dysmorphia, where you're looking at yourself in a really negative way, and that's not what you really look like. So I'll always, you know, a part of your body that you don't like, that's what you're going to focus on. How about all the other parts that are great? So as a stylist, it's about accentuating all the parts that are wonderful and great, not looking at that one little belly that you think that's too big, but actually, do you like your shoulders? Do you like your arms? Let's look at that. Let's celebrate the assets. So yeah, women do suffer from just body dysmorphia, but in different extremes, I find.
And what about kind of trends and new seasons? Because obviously when you're building a wardrobe, you want to feel like you're keeping up with the fashions, but also, I guess, building a capsule wardrobe that doesn't go out of style from one season to the next. How do you work with clients around that, and what should we be looking for to add to our wardrobes?
Well, I have a treat for you. I've got the trends for spring summer 22. Ooh. I did a master class with Harvey Nichols last month, and we did trends of the season. So I brought out all the trends, showed it to the guests, and then we also talked about wardrobe staples. So trends are what's in fashion now, and a great way of introducing trends into your wardrobe is to have little bits of it so that you feel like you're up to date. Yeah. So today I'm wearing Peri Blue. Peri Blue is the Pantone color of the year. So it's like a nice blue color. I don't know if you can see it.
I did, and I noticed it when you first came onto the call, actually, because it complements your skin tone beautifully.
Yeah.
And I can see you picked it up with your eye makeup as well.
Well spotted, Michelle. It was all very intentional. So I could talk to you about the trends of the season. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, so these are the trends for spring summer 22, and the way to wear it is just to introduce bits of it into your wardrobe, just to give your wardrobe an update. So tailoring and suiting is absolutely massive. I believe that because of the slumber that we had of COVID, fashion has kind of rebelled and said, okay, we're not doing jogging bottoms, we're not doing that, we're going to go completely tailored. So like the oversized blazer, tailoring is absolutely massive for spring summer. So like suits and palazzo pants, trousers are really good. And there's something called dopamine dressing. So I wrote for the Mail about dopamine dressing. Dopamine dressing is like using bright colors. It's like color blocking, just the kind of bright, vivacious, bold colors and clashing them with what you're wearing. Like that brings a lot of joy as well. That's a massive, massive trend. Obviously blue, so the peri blue is the color of the season. But this season is really about embracing color. No holds bars, overdressing, because we've spent so long in joggers, and I think we are not. We're tired of that. And then the platform shoe is a big trend as well. So if you're looking to update your shoe this season, the platform is really, really big. So it's coming back again from the 70s. It came back in the 90s. Now it's back again. So the platform is really good. And the good thing about the platform is that it's comfortable because you've got that support underneath your foot. So it's usually comfortable. Metallics are big as well. So if you're thinking about maybe going out in the evening, embrace metallics, or going to a wedding, that's really good. Wide leg jeans and wide leg trousers are all the rage. So pack away your skinnies and bring out the wide leg, the palazzo pants, the jeans. So like a homage to the 70s. That's really, really big as well. Crop tops. If you want to go for that, go for a crop top. The mini skirt is also very big as well. Feathers and fringing are massive. So this season is all about going over the top, not modest dressing, not anything kind of reserved or not athleisure, but really going over the top. And then co-ords have been really big for a couple of years. So co-ords is matching your top to your bottoms and wearing the same thing. So like the pajama sets, the tops and the bottoms that are the same. So those are the trends for spring summer 22.
So now I have a stylist question for you. How do you deal with trends if, for example, wide leg jeans don't suit your body shape? So if it doesn't suit your body shape, there's always a compromise. So I'd go maybe for a straight leg as opposed to a wide leg. So let's say a client is, because it's all about body shape and coloring, what suits you. So if a client is 5'3" and petite, a massive wide leg trouser would probably drown her because it's just too much fabric flapping around. So I'd probably not go for the skinny, I'd go for a straight leg. So there's always like a compromise in between. But ultimately it's about following what suits you as a woman, what suits your shape, what suits your coloring as well. And in terms of, you mentioned it earlier, you know, as women get older, they tend to gather more weight around their middle. What sorts of styles do you suggest for people in that situation, or who want to feel more confident around their weight?
So with my style questionnaire, there's something I always ask: what part of your body are you least confident about? And I'd probably say 98% of women say their tummy area. So what I would say about the tummy area is, do not put a big belt on your tummy. That doesn't work. That just highlights, you're putting a big horizontal line on a big part of your body. Don't do that. Fluidity is key. So going for blouses, using silk, viscose, even shirts are really good. So going for things that are a bit more fluid and a bit more loose. Avoiding things like tight jersey tops, horizontal lines. So like the Breton tops are not great because it just widens your proportions. But going for a bit more fluidity would work really well. And even when you're selecting trousers or jeans, it's always really good to go for a high rise. So a high rise jeans is your best friend. It just pulls it all in and it just makes it a bit more tailored as well. But avoiding lots of detail around that area, going for more fluid fabrics like silks, viscose, blouses, and avoiding really tight tops and belts around that area. Good. Always go for a high rise. It works really, really well.
Brilliant. And what should we be doing with our wardrobes to get them ready for the summer season, the dreaded summer season where we're supposed to get our legs and arms?
Well, fingers crossed that the sun is coming. When I went to Dubai, the weather was 19 degrees. When I came back, it was raining and it was cold. It was 6 degrees. So we're hoping that summer's coming. So what I would say is that right now as a stylist, I'm doing a lot of wardrobe detoxing, the kind of decluttering your wardrobe, getting it ready, swapping it around, for packing away autumn, winter, and bringing out spring, summer. But because our weather's not so stable, it's always good to have transitional pieces. So what I would say is that this is a really great time to review your wardrobe. If you want to, call an expert in to help you do it. If not, you could do it yourself. Review your wardrobe. Look at clothes in your wardrobe for autumn, winter. Which ones worked well for you? Which ones don't you like? Which ones don't you fit? Which ones are dated? Sell them, resell them, regift them, pack them away, bring out your spring, summer as well, and do the same thing. Hang those up. And if there are any gaps, you can note it down, and then you can kind of replenish them. So the job of a stylist is to kind of look through your wardrobe, review it, and get it ready for the season. But just give yourself an honest look. What is it that you enjoy? And sometimes the clothes that you're just tired of wearing. You're just like, oh, I'm tired of this. It doesn't make me feel good. We need to clothe ourselves in clothes that bring us joy.
And do you have any recommendations for wardrobe staples that everybody should have?
Yes, I do. Okay, so I have a spring wardrobe staple list here. So a MAC or a trench coat is fantastic for spring, summer, because it's a great transitional coat, because we don't need our heavy coats, but a MAC or trench coat is great because first of all, we need a light coat to protect us. It's windy, sometimes it's rainy, so you can get one that's waterproof or one that's windproof as well. Color is a great idea. So pack away all those dark colors, blacks, navy blues, bring out your bright colors, peri blue and all sorts. So this is the season of lots of colors. Shirts are great as well because you can layer shirts too. Shirts are really good, and blouses. Mules are great for the season because you can go backless. Trainers, it's time to bring out like your white trainers, fun trainers, a light colored bag. So swap your dark winter bag, your black bags, maybe with like a nice beige or a nice white would be great. Layering is really important because even though it's not hot, it's also not cold. So maybe having like t-shirts, cardigans to layer, so when the weather changes, you can peel them off. Yeah. So layering is really key for spring, summer. A light wash denim. So pack away the indigos, pack away the blacks, maybe bring out the beiges, the pinks, the whites as well, are really great for this season. A denim jacket or a light jacket is also really good as well because you don't need the big bulky jackets. And it's time to show your legs with your dresses and your skirts, because in winter you probably wear them with boots or with tights. Now you can wear them with like dresses, with trainers, or dresses with sandals as well. But always have outerwear because we have to plan for the weather. So those are the staples.
That's fantastic. Thank you. And I've been, as you've been listing those, I've been thinking about how many of those I have in my wardrobe. So I'm going to have to go afterwards. And even just things like you were saying about changing your handbag. You know, do those old style rules of having your belt and your shoes and your bag all matching, do those still exist, or have they gone out?
No, they don't exist. I remember a few years ago, a client nearly had a fit because her belt was blue and her shoes were black. Those rules don't exist. Break all those rules. There's something called temperature of color. So you need to keep within the same temperature, but your bag doesn't have to match your shoes at all or your belt. Fashion and style is a bit more free, but as long as all the colors and everything work together, I think once you have somebody that will teach you, like a stylist that will teach you about color, about styling, then you'll understand how it works. But it's not so much rules. It's more about wearing things that suit you, wearing things that flatter you and make you feel good in that sense.
And when you travel, do you have any travel staples that you always have with you? I mean, what would you advise people invest in as part of their travel wardrobe?
I think it depends on where you're going. So always dress for where you're going. So if you're going to somewhere hot, I think it's really great if you have when you have a luggage allowance, is to keep within the same color palette. So on this trip I went to, it was business and it was pleasure, but I kept within the cool temperatures, because the cool temperatures are like the pinks and the blues and the whites, because they all work together really well. So then I only have to pack one pair of Birkenstocks, one pair of going out shoes, one pair of trainers, or one sun hat, as opposed to packing lots of different things. But it's important to keep your wardrobe so it's versatile. So maybe travel with the heavier clothes like your jeans and your jacket, and then keep within the color realms of it. But it really depends on where you're going, I'd say.
Thank you. That's really good advice, actually, because I always struggle with that. Shoes are always my biggest problem.
So ideally for shoes, pack one pair of sandals. You'll see in my pictures I have one shoe that I wear when I'm going out. Pack a pair of flats, so I pack those Birkenstocks, a pair of sandals, and try to keep with that so that you can repeat the outfits. But once you know your colors and how to mix colors, it all makes sense. If that makes, yeah.
Yeah. Joy, it's been a delight to talk to you. And before we finish off, as part of our W.Live series on the women's chapter, we always ask a round of quickfire questions. And you're not allowed to think about the answers too much. You have to just answer them really quickly. So I'll start with the first one. Who or what inspires you?
I think life inspires me. God inspires me. I'm a Christian, so I have faith. I have strong faith, and people, life, everything, so many different things can inspire me. But yeah, life itself inspires me.
Amazing. Do you have a biggest fear?
I think living a life that's unfulfilled, and a life that doesn't bring me joy, and a life that is just very blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I know the answer to this one, but what's the most courageous thing you've ever done?
Left my 13-year city career, sold my house, and started my personal styling business, definitely. But it's good. It was scary, but it was a good fear. Some fears are good. It's good to see the other side of it, and I'm much more happier. I enjoy my job. I work with different women, and I help them to feel good. There's a fulfillment in that, and that was on the other side of fear, so yeah.
Yeah. And do you have a guiltless pleasure?
Well, I like 5-star hotels and nice dresses.
I think that definitely is a guiltless pleasure for many of us.
Yeah, I like a good hotel.
And do you have a mantra that you live by?
Oh, there's so many. I think be kind, try to be kind, and be honest. Try to treat people well. Always go with your values and your morals. Don't sell yourself cheap. Don't, go with your values and with your morals. I think that's really, really important. So, yeah, I've got an example of that, but I won't go into it.
Well, you can share it if you want.
Yeah. So the other day I went out somewhere, shopping, high-end store, bought a few things, and they do hands-free shopping because I'm part of this fashion group. And I bought what I bought, I'd taken it, and then somebody put a label on 2 bags of items that they said was mine. And I said, no, it's not mine. I didn't buy it. And the lady said, no, just take it anyway. It was really expensive stuff. I said, no, I'm not taking that. The things were nice, but they were not mine. And I think that it's important to be able to go to bed at night and be comfortable, that nobody would have known, but it just wasn't right. The lady was like, take it. So the lady took it and took it with her. And I just thought, no, I wouldn't be able to do that because I want to be able to go to bed at night and feel like I can sleep. No money in the world. And when you're in business, you get all sorts of proposals. But yeah, I think living with your values and your morals is really important.
No, it reminds me actually of some advice I was given very early on in the days of the women's chapter, was that, you know, you can always afford to walk away from something that doesn't align with your values. Whether that be, you know, a client, an opportunity, a collaboration, anything really.
I get so many, Michelle, you'd be amazed. But I always have to check, who am I? What are my morals? What are my values? And I try to live by that because I want to go to bed at night and not have to worry and know that, you know what, you've done your best for the day. No money in the world because you get all sorts of proposals in business, I'm sure you know.
Yes.
But my values and my morals are really important to me because I'm accountable, you know, to those.
Oh, that's really inspirational. Thank you. And a good lesson for us all to build into the way we run our businesses and live our lives. And do you have a female role model?
Oh, I think there's so many women that inspire me. I love Michelle Obama because I like what she represents, particularly as a woman of color. She's educated, she's a family woman, she's fun, she's real. I love that about her. But all the women around me that I surround myself with inspire me, from my friends to my mum to my sisters to you, to women around. And I think I get inspiration from women because I think women are amazing. And I think women are hard on themselves. I work with so many women, and I think sometimes we look at ourselves from a very negative perspective, but there's so much that we do. There's so many hats that we wear. And I think women are inspirational, generally speaking. So, yeah.
Thank you. No, and I totally agree, which is why we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
How can people get hold of you? What is the best way if they want to talk to you about having their colors done or understanding their body shapes, a wardrobe detox, or having a complete style overhaul? How do they get hold of you? What's the best way?
Well, the best way to contact me is via my website, which is www.potential-u.co.uk. Or if you follow the link in my link tree on Instagram, all the links are there as well. But if you just want to have a chat, you want some styling, I'm happy to help.
They need to know where to go and buy the best periwinkle blue.
Yes, yes. But I also want to say I'm really excited to be part of the women's chapter. I've looked at you guys for quite a while, and I left one networking group to look for another one, and I'm really glad to be on board, and I'm looking forward to just being part of the community. So thank you for welcoming me as well. I think as women, it's just nice to feel like you're in a community of women that want to support you, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Absolutely. Well, it's an honor to have you, Joy, and I know that you've been to, when we were running in-person events many years ago, you had been attending from those days.
Yeah.
So I'm delighted you're now part of our business community, and we can help shout out about your business and help tell your story and connect you with the rest of our audience. So I'm really, really honored to have you, and it's been fantastic talking today. I've learned a lot, and I hope everybody else has too. For anyone that might have come in halfway through this conversation, or if you missed some or all of it, this will be saved to the Women's Chapter video feed on our Instagram channel. So you'll be able to find that there. And Joy, when I save it, I'll tag you in it, so it should appear on yours as well. But if anyone is looking to watch the recording, it will be on our video feed on our Instagram handle. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really delighted. Good luck with your masterclass this afternoon. Or do you have a virtual consultation, you said?
Virtual, yeah. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to having more chats with you like this for our community. And if anyone needs to have a style overhaul or a boost in confidence, please do get in touch with Joy. I highly recommend her services. And it's been a
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.